Since you mentioned that we were a startup in 2017, I can tell you we are a startup even now in terms of our spirit, And Ornob is transforming us every day. Sometimes we are transmogrifying also. And
thank you. What is that? Transmogrifying.
And
we'll have a chat after the event.
Every day you're thinking of doing something.
Abhishek, the boss is always right.
Yeah, of course. But we are transmogrifying.
20 years of friendship just went down in the drain.
No, but serious note. So when you say $35-40 trillion economy, what's the nuts and bolts? What's really happening? For example, 2047, is rupee going to be the currency, global currency? If yes, what are we doing now to make the credibility of rupee durable for that long, beginning now? And how many countries would be trading in rupee? How many banks? Things like that. Also, like I said, we are a startup. I see, you said whole of the government approach. Is some midnight burning of oil happening to make sure that we see that happening over the next 20 years?
Well,
and what kind of midnight burning?
Knowing the Modi government, you should know that midnight is too early. Midnight is the time we only leave the office with the files in our hand to still work after that. So Prime Minister Modi has been clear from day one. आप जितना काम करोगे, मैं 1 घंटा उससे ज़्यादा करूँगा. And he encourages us to actually spend every moment of our time in contributing and giving back to society. I remember once asking him कि प्रधानमंत्री जी आप छुट्टी क्यों नहीं लेते हैं? कभी तो छुट्टी ले लीजिए. He says मुझे जनता ने छुट्टी लेने के लिए प्रधानमंत्री नहीं बनाया. एक मौका मिला, एक अवसर दिया है. उस अवसर को कैसे हम इस्तेमाल करें जिससे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों का लाभ हो सके, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों तक हमारे सब कार्यक्रम पहुंच सके, मुझे तो उसकी चिंता लगी रहती. And I tell you, I remember in 2014 in the first or second interaction, what was his guidance? Jitendra Singh ji is here, he will recall that, and he's working right in the Prime Minister's office. His guidance were basically 2 or 3 very simple, elementary. One, all of India needs to grow if India needs to become a prosperous country. The West and South cannot have the privilege of being growth engines, and the East or the Northeast or the northern parts of India cannot remain deprived of development. And you see that in his actions. The way he has focused on the development of the eastern states, the northeastern states, the way he's looking at India as one country. So when he says power for all, he doesn't discriminate. There's no bhed bhav. Power for all means power for all. It will not be that one community or one set of people will get power. When he says everybody gets a tap, water from their tap, it's for everybody. When he talks of housing, he talks that everybody should have a right to a proper home. Digital connectivity. Each one of his programs is taken up in a saturation mode, and particularly focus being on the less developed regions. Second thing he told us was, don't look at elections. Elections will come and go. Focus your energies on outcomes. Get really good results of the work that you're doing. Sometimes the work that you're doing may not be electorally very prudent, but you don't bother about that. Focus on what is good for the people of India, and they will respond for what is good for them. ये जनता बड़ी समझदार है, सब कुछ समझती है.